What was that like for you growing up in Aurora before you started venturing out to all these other cities?
It was
Paint that picture for us.
it was nothing hard. It was like, and when I say hard, I mean like I didn't have a bunch of friends. When I was in high school, I didn't have a bunch of friends. I was very well known because I went to several different high schools in Colorado, or I went to 2 high schools in Colorado, but I went to several schools throughout my childhood. I went to a lot of different schools. My mom just liked to move a lot. It was no specific reason. Upgrading. So yeah, I went from different schools. It was easy. I mean, it wasn't hard. I was the only girl. I was in a house full of boys, so I was the only girl. My mom wouldn't let me go outside. I wasn't hanging out, like I wasn't doing any of that. So yeah, it was easy.
How many siblings did you have?
Growing up, I had 2 brothers in my household, Michael and Chris. So they're the closest things to me, but outside of them, I have 2 other siblings that I know of on my father's side. So, but I wasn't close to them growing up. One of them just actually contacted me the week I moved to Atlanta. She was in foster care and she's finally 16, so she contacted me. Yeah.
You mentioned a step-parent in this conversation. How old were you when your biological parents split?
I was very young. I was like, I think 7 would be a lie. Maybe 4. I was very, very young, but they didn't officially get divorced until I was like 10.
And then what age does a step-parent come into your life?
4, same thing.
Oh.
Yeah. So he was in my life for a while. Yeah.
Still have a relationship with him today?
No, I don't.
You don't. What about your biological father? Is he still in your life today or no?
Yes, I guess. I mean, he's on my Instagram and stuff. We text sometimes.
Was he in your life though when the step-parent was there? And
No, truthfully, no. There was a short period of time where I remember my dad being around, but when I guess my mom left him, he just kind of, I don't know, he was sad. So he just kind of did his own thing, but I think maybe my mom could have played a part in that too. I really don't know. I mean, it truly didn't change the way I turned out. Like, I'm a great woman before and after. But it really didn't affect, like I know that's some people's horror story, but like what my mom and what my dad was doing was none of my business, you know? Didn't affect me at all.
I know sometimes though, I know you say you weren't affected, but you know, there's questions that kids have of their parents, or you know, if father wasn't around in your case, why weren't you around? Or,
right.
you know, there's these type of questions, and there's more questions than that, but
right.
I mean, I don't know if you care to know those type of answers,
right.
or, you know, it is what it is. I mean, how do you feel about it?
I feel like, you know, he couldn't have been around even if he wanted to, because they didn't have a good relationship. So, like, my mom was never like, don't talk to your dad. Like, my mom she didn't care either. Like, you know, if you want to talk to him, there's his number, like, call him. But it's just like, my mother did so much to me. So to be fiending for my father, who didn't do anything for me, was just kind of like almost selfish, because my mom's like busting her ass every day, like to make sure we have food and everything. And like, yeah, so I just wasn't craving to talk to my dad. I wasn't curious about where he was. I knew I could call him at any minute. But it's just like, he wasn't gonna give me no money. He wasn't gonna, you know, take me to the mall, or did my dad go to my graduation? I don't think my dad went to my graduation, and I'm the only one that graduated. So, you know, it's like, it is what it is. I don't blame him either. Like, we're cool. He's on my Instagram. What's up, Dad?
In terms of your step-parent, you had a good relationship with him or no?
Yeah, I did. I never had beef with any of like the adults, like, ever.
Sometimes I do an interview like this and there's a step-parent involved and it's a toxic relationship. Why do you think yours was good when I've interviewed others and it wasn't so good?
Because my mom didn't let no man tell me what to do. So it's like, even when I got in trouble and he tried to like enforce some power, I don't know, it didn't matter, because at the end of the day, like, whatever my mom says go, and I know if I call my grandma, then it's gonna be a problem. And they just didn't want my grandma to get involved with anything. My grandma I was her ace boon coon, like her everything. So like if I called my grandma like, he's yelling at me, my grandma would have came over there and started problems. So it's just like, not even on a spoiled thing. It was just, I was the only girl in a house full of men. So it was just like, I didn't get in trouble. I didn't, you know, it wasn't problematic in my household.